all right. Yes, we are live. All right. Which words are eating? Chino Achebe, things fall apart. Proverb is like palm oil, with which words are eating, things fall apart by Chino Achebe. How many of us have read that book? It is called The Book of Africa. It is the book that is fully incorporated with Proverbs. Have you ever laid your hand on that book and read it? In today's edition, we are going to look at the Proverbs that were propounded by Chinua Achebe in his book, Things Fall Apart. And in the foundation of that book, the prominent and most pronounced one is the one that he started with the saying, Proverbs are the palm oil with which words are eaten. With which words are eaten. So we are going to look at different proverbs that was compounded by Chinua Achebe in his book Things Fall Apart. In one of the proverbs, he says, when the moon is shining, the cripple becomes hungry for a walk. When a moon is shining, the cripple will be hungry for a walk. And that has an interpretation. It has a meaning. If you are a literature student, you should be able to understand the meaning or the interpretation of Proverbs. And as an African too, we ought to understand and read meaning to Proverbs. And in that proverb I said, when the moon is shining, the people becomes hungry for a walk. It also means even those who have given up could find hope in good time. Those who has lost their hope can also find hope in a good time. That is what that proverb actually means. When the moon is shining, that is when things are going well. The cripple becomes hungry for a walk. So we are going to take the second proverb by Chinua Achebe in his book Things Fall Apart. And when the things fall apart, the center cannot hold. Even the title of the book itself is proverbial. So the second one is that when a child who washes his hands can eat with kings, a child who washes his hand can eat with a king. A child who washes his hand can eat with a king. What does it mean? Or what does it imply? It means that hard work and respect open doors to success. It means that hard work and respect open doors for success. That is what it's saying, that a child who washes his hands can eat with kings. So, so when you are respecting the elders, when you are respecting the successful people, when you are respecting the kings, it opens more doors for you. That is what Chinua Achebe is saying in a proverbial form or in a proverbial manner. So the third one is, if one figure brings oil, it soils the other. If a finger brings oil, it's soil the others. That is to say that when you have a finger that touches the oil, it soil the other. Things fall apart. A proverb by Chinua Achebe. Things fall apart. He said, if one finger brings oil, it soils the other. Are you getting it? And what does it mean? He's trying to say that a single bad action can affect the entire community. A single bad action can affect the entire community. Let's reverse the case also. That a good action of a particular person could be a positive, can have a positive reaction to his or her community. When one figure, when one figure touches the oil, it soils the other. Things fall apart. Why are we encouraging this? It is because our culture and value is dying down, and African is known with Proverbs. Proverbs is the identity of Africans. Proverb is the identity of Africans. And Chinua Achebe has promoted African proverb heavily in his book, Things Fall Apart. So we are taking another of his proverb. He said, a man who pays respect to the great paves way for the way for his greatness. A man who pays respect to the great paves way, paves the way for his own greatness. That is to say, honor and respect lead to personal success. Honor and respect lead to personal success. So that is what things Chino has been saying is this all about, that a man who pays respect to the great. When you pay respect to the great, when you respect those that are greater than you, now you are paving way for your own greatness. That is what is Chinua Achebe say in his things fall apart. And the funnest one that everyone understands, that everyone has been using, he says that the lizard that jumped from the high Iroko tree to the ground says he would praise himself if no one else did. A lizard that jumped from a high Iroko tree to the ground said he would praise himself if no one else did. You understand? When the lizard jumped down from the Iroko tree, despite the fact that it cannot speak, it will first nodded its head. To nodded its head. That is to say, self-recognition is important. Self-recognition, self-confidence. When nobody praises you and you know that you have achieved something in life, that what you have done amount could lead to personal praises and nobody praises you, you need to recognize your effort and praise yourself. That is what he used lizard to demonstrate this action for self-recognition, for self-confidence in whatever we do. And that is what Chinua Achebe frustrated in his book, Things Fall Apart, using a proverbial words for demonstrating his self-confidence, to demonstrating the self-confidence. And he used lizard for this demonstration. And he uses lizard for this demonstration. You understand? So he went further to give another proverb to say, those whose palm kernels were cracked for them by a benevolent spirit should not forget to be humble. Those whose palm kernel has been cracked for them by a benevolent spirit should not forget to be humble. Are you getting what I'm saying? So it's another proverb in things fall apart. And the simple interpretation to that proverb is that someone someone who succeeds due to luck should not be proud of such luck. Someone who succeeds due to luck, not just by his effort, should not be brag or be proud of it, because there is a benevolent spirit that crack your palm kernel for you. So those that are bragging because there is a benevolent spirit who has cracked their palm kernel for them should be humble, because that spirit that cracked the palm kernel for you can also crack for someone else. So the lesson from it is that be humble no matter success. You need to be very, very humble no matter your success. Spirit to crack, he should not be treated the manner of which you are treating that person, because you have had a benevolent spirit that cracked your own palm kernel for you. So things fall apart. If you are just joining us, we are looking at the proverbs that were propounded by Chinua Achebe in his book Things Fall Apart. And we are running through the proverb by him. We are running through the proverb by him. So if you have never had the opportunity of reading that book, and maybe you have been hearing about it, and you have not known the wealth of that book, how that book is fully incorporated with Africa proverbs, this program is for you, because we are highlighting the proverbs in that book, Things Fall Apart. So we are going further to give another proverbs in Things Fall Apart, which say, a man who calls his kinsmen to a feast does not do so to save them from starving. A man who calls his kinsmen to a feast does not do so to save them from starvation. It does not save them from starving. So when you call people for an occasion, does not mean that you want to save them from suffering, right? That's what this all about is saying. That's what Chinua Achebe is saying. That when a man calls his kinsmen for a feast, for a celebration, does not do so to save them from starving. So what this literally means is that relationships are not built more than just necessity. Relationships are not built on more than just a necessity. No, it is not a necessity, because true friendships and family ties go beyond favor. The essence of family friendship and family ties is not because of favor. You understand? It is not because of necessity. Just because, okay, you are friends to our family is not because you needed something. Not because you are a friend to me, you are a friend to Triple A, it's not because you needed something. Chinua Achebe is saying that such is not because of a necessity. It is because it ought to be. That is what he's saying in his Things Fall Apart. That a man who calls his kinsmen to a feast does not do so to save them from starvation. Are you getting it? So he went further to say in one of these things, one of the proverbs again, that when looking at a king's mouth, one will think he never sucked his mother's breast. Oh, things fall apart. He said, when you are looking at the king's mouth, it looks like the king had never sucked his mother's breasts. Could someone give me the interpretation of that? But since we are giving the emphasis, we are giving the analysis of his proverb, we will not wrap up there. He said, when you are looking at the mouth of a king, one will think he never sucked at his mother's breasts. So, what that's literally mean is that greatness can make us forget humble beginning. That greatness can make us forget humble beginning. If you are stumbled with a very good sum of money today, you will definitely forget how you started. That is why he's saying that when they are seeing you lavishing the money today, when they are seeing you living in a luxurious life, people will think that you had never suffered. People will think that you had never sucked your mother's breast. So, is this not educative from Chinua Achebe? Is it not a book that everyone should have a copy to read as an African man? It's a proverb. It's like a palm oil with which words are eaten. Things fall apart by Chinua Achebe. So, we are still giving another basis. We are still giving more of the proverb propounded by Chinua Achebe in his book, Things Fall Apart. He said, a toad does not run in a daytime for nothing. A toad, we know toad, that when you are seeing a toad running in the daytime, he says it's not running for some nothing. It is either it's running from something or something is pursuing it. That is why he said a toad does not run in the daytime for nothing. So that is to say, in every action has a reason. So we need to understand why people act the way they do before judging them. You understand? Because a toad does not run in the daytime without nothing. There must be something that is pursuing a toad in the daytime. And we are giving the analysis, we are giving the reflection of Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. If I have not read the book and you intend to understand the proverbial incorporation in that particular book, please, this video is for you. This video is for you. He said, when the man says yes, his chi, that is personal God. He said, when the man say yes, his chi, personal God, also say yes. You understand? So he said, when a man say yes, chi in Igbo language is personal God. When a man say yes, his chi also say yes. You understand? That is to say, personal determination influences what? Destiny. Personal determination influences destiny. That is what you intend to do. If you say to yourself, if you say yes to yourself, you will be able to achieve it. Just say yes to yourself, and you have the determination to do that. you will be able to achieve that. That is what Chinua Achebe says. That when a man says yes, his chi, which is personal God, also say yes. So if you are just joining us, I'm still remain your host on Port TV, Triple A on Port TV. And in today's edition, we are giving analysis the proverb propounded by his book, Things Fall Apart. So he said further in one of the proverbs, an old woman is always on ease when the dry bones are mentioned in a proverb. An old man is always on ease. An old man is always restless when a bone is mentioned in a proverb. When a bone is mentioned in a proverb, an old man remain on ease. Meaning, people are sensitive to topics that affect them personally. When you are sensitive, just imagine that you are in church and the preacher is making reference to someone, a corrupted leader, and you are there. You'll be thinking that the preacher is talking to you. Or when a teacher is giving an illustration to someone who failed the exam more than 5 times and you are in the class, you may think that the same teacher is using you for illustration, not knowing that it is because issue of failure has been mentioned in the class. That is why Chinua Achebe demonstrated it by using an old man, an old one to say, an old woman is always on his when dry bones are mentioned in a proverb. So he went further to give another to say, he who brings scholar brings life. This one is always seen in the Nigeria movie. Whenever they are celebrating something and I say, hey, he who brings scholar brings lives. This is originated from Chinua Achebe in his book, Things Fall Apart. And as I said earlier, I said even Things Fall Apart, the title of the book itself is a proverb because when things fall apart, the center cannot hold. And in that book, there are various and numerous proverbs in that book. That is why he said, he who brings scholar brings lives. That generosity and hospitality strengthen a relationship. Generosity and hospitality brings generosity and hospitality brings pro relationship, strengthen relationship. So if you have been joining us, is analysis of the proverb by Chinua Achebe. So we are going for a short break. When we come back, we will continue with the analysis so that Triple A can sip water. And when you sip the water, it will come back and continue with the analysis. So if you know more of the proverbs, Sonny, since you needed something. Uh-huh. Okay, pap and wire. So how much?